What's up? Instagram Live, Facebook Live. Welcome to another edition of Bro Code.
Welcome.
What's going on? What's up? Hey, shouts out to my boy AC. We saying, and my boy JC who on vacation. Miss you, bro. See you guys next week on our next show. What up, bro?
What's up, man?
How was your week, man?
Good.
Everything good? Hey, you better get into this show, man.
Glad to be
Hey,
here.
we got some special guests for you guys. Today's topic, we're going to be discussing faith, marriage, and friendships. So we got a couple guests on here that basically know about that pretty well. So we're going to go ahead and get these guests introduced so they can come on and tell you a little about themselves. I'm going to let you go first since you know the first guest more better than anybody.
Yep. So the first person I would like to introduce is my beautiful wife, Stacy Harmon. Welcome, Stacy, to Bro Code.
Stacy, what's going on? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Hey, baby.
So the next couple we're gonna bring on, they've been together for 34 years. We're gonna bring to the set Miss Andrita and Terrence Franklin. What's going on, guys? How's it going? And our next couple that we're gonna bring on set, they've been together for 25 years. We have Michael and Henrietta Brooks. I'm gonna mess that up. I'm sorry, I messed it up. What's up, guys?
Hello.
Welcome to Bro Code. I appreciate you guys coming in.
Welcome.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is just go down the line, give you guys a chance to, see our audience and let our audience know a little bit about yourself before we get deep into the show.
All right.
Start with my-
Yeah, we start with you.
My name is Michael Brooks. I'm married to Henrietta Brooks. Like you said, we've been married 25 years, but from day one I knew she was going to be my wife.
Okay, I'm Henrietta Brooks, and Michael says that we've been married 25. We are the best of friends. We enjoy ministry. We do everything together pretty much.
All right. I'm Terrence Franklin. This is my lovely wife, Andrita, and we've been married for 34 years. And she is my best friend, my soulmate.
I'm Andrita Franklin. Here's my husband. This is my running partner. This is my, as the young kids say, my ride or die.
And I am Stacy Harmon. I've been married to Rico for almost 11 years.
We're going to say 11.
We're gonna say
11
Next week is
next Saturday.
Yep, 11 years.
Yeah.
Welcome, baby.
Okay. All right, so guys, basically what this show is, we're talking about faith, marriage, friendships. Okay, so we're gonna get into a little bit more about that. But basically, like I said, let's give the audience a little bit. Like we can go down the line. Whoever wants to start is fine with me. But I want to know a little bit how you guys met. Like I have all three of these guests on my show that I was doing, keeping it together, and I feel like their stories were very inspiring. Your story was funny because he was like, Michael tried to get me, I ain't paying him no attention. Like he wasn't even under my type. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was hilarious. So give us a little insight from you on how you guys met and what brought Michael to keep Michael around for 25 years.
Okay, so me and Michael met in college. I can say we were really friends beforehand, but when he asked me out, and I for multiple times, I said no. And he was persistent, so eventually kind of, so I said yes, and really, we literally, once we became a couple, we are inseparable. I mean, we are always together.
Terrence?
Well, I met Andrita actually through her cousin.
Okay.
I think the first time we met was going shopping. Yeah.
We were children. I was 15.
Oh.
We have been together almost 40 years.
And I think I made her laugh a lot the
Yes,
first time we met.
Hey, that is powerful.
Yeah, and next time I think we saw each other at the football game, high school football game. And when we became a couple, if you will, I happened to run into her downtown, stopped her, and waited with her at the bus.
Mhm.
And I think the first time we talked, we stayed on the phone till like 4 o'clock in the morning. And since then, we just been together, more or less together.
Just like that.
Nice. I'm gonna let her tell the story. She tells the story. I've said our story before on one of your shows, but I'm gonna let Stacy. I'm gonna see how let her say it this time. I want to hear it from her.
So Rico and I met through some friends, his childhood friends, and a coworker of mine. They set us up on a semi-blind date for bowling because I made them come with us because I did not do blind dates. So we had a 4-person bowling tournament, I'll say that. And then went to Dave & Buster's for dinner.
No,
She can tell the story.
she says, okay,
She can tell the story.
but you said you're gonna let her tell the story.
But that was wrong. So I'll do it real quick.
Okay.
So the real story is my friends had a barbecue. I went to the barbecue and all of us standing outside, right? And Stacy's being a really good hostess. This is not even her party, right? She's just helping out a lot. So she's running up and down the steps, running all around in this nice little sundress and everything. So she's running all around. And my friend said, oh yeah, she has a boyfriend. And at this point I was kind of like, okay, she's still gonna be my girlfriend, my wife eventually, right?
Okay.
And so she claims that she never saw me at the party at all, even though she brought me a beer and all this kind of stuff. And I always say, I was like, you ain't see me? You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, come on, man. I know
You see all this? You see all this?
shit, right? And so then, you know, later on, our friends, you know, we did a blind date. Well, it wasn't blind for me because I already know what she looked like, right? It was blind for her, right? And so, you know, 11 years later, you know, here we are.
That's what's up. So guys, like I said, today we're gonna discuss faith, marriage, and friendship, but not necessarily in that order, because I feel like when it comes to faith, we can talk about it all day. Okay. So basically, what I want to know from each couple, what is your idea of why you feel like that friendship is important? I feel like that foundation should be laid from the beginning. Me personally, I feel like if you friends, then you should be able to tackle the world together regardless of what the storm is. So give our audience a brief description on how each one of you guys feel why friendship is important in a marriage or in a relationship, and how has it helped yours?
I think friendship is important because there are times when everything else going on around you feels like it's against you. There are issues at work, if you have kids, stuff in the house, and Nick's spending money. You need to be able to have someone who you can confide in, someone who listens to you. And I know that my husband is a good listener. He listens even beyond when I think he's listening. And he hears stuff, he hears me making statements about stuff when I'm just talking off the top of my head, but he hears much deeper than just the surface of what I'm saying. So I think that it's very important to have a friendship, to have a person who you can do things with. Like we run together, we do stuff together, you know, you cook together, you look at TV together. It doesn't have to be an activity, but you have someone who you can be with, who you can truly be yourself with. For instance, when I decided to go natural, it was kind of traumatic, but I asked my husband, I said, do you mind if I cut off my hair? He was on TV, he said no, and kept going. And you know, it's like, you take me how I am. You love me for who I am, not for just what you see, but for who I am.
Because, not interrupting you, I feel like, you know, and I agree with what you're saying, like, take me who I, because all this physical, that's gonna change.
And it,
Yes.
please believe, over 40 years, it changes. It changes. And I think that a true friend is truly someone who you can be with. Someone who you can truly be with. Be yourself with. If you're good, if you're bad, if you're angry, happy, whatever you are, that person is there.
And see, to expound on what she's saying, it's more of that expression of your feelings. Like I can tell Michael anything. I mean, he won't be offended. He won't be, I can tell, if I'm having a bad day, I can tell him. I can tell him whatever that day is. You know, whatever it is, he's gonna be empathetic to me and what my feelings are, because life changes, life happens. things happen, and you have to have that person that's your friend that you can go to, run to, to vent. Like Michael, when I have a thing, if he sees that I'm upset about something, especially with, like dealing with family, friends, or whatever, if you have that person you vent with, he asks the question, because he's learned to ask this question, is do you want, or am I to react to it, or am I to listen? So he wants to know, and if I say, I'm just venting and I just want you to listen to what I have to say, you don't even have to say anything, you don't have to do anything, you don't have to try to fix it for me. It's that I need that time to express and, get it off my chest so I can deal with the situation. So, yes,
She helped me with that.
yes.
Because from a man perspective, myself, if she tell me at one time I wanted to fix it, do something about it, she have helped me to be able to know. And I'm to listen, make sure, okay, what you want to take place. Last night was a good example. I came home, I was tired, or what have you. And rather did a lot within the house, cooking dinner, whatever, cleaning up the kitchen or what have you. She came to bed, and I noticed she was a little frustrated. So she said, no, I'm okay, just tired, or what have you. And I apologized. I said, well, I could have cleaned the kitchen. She said, no, you were tired. I said, well, no, that's no excuse. I could have cleaned up the kitchen. So this morning, I got up. By the time she got up to get ready for church, breakfast was pretty much ready. But about the friendship, that started when we was in college. I was chasing her. She was playing hard to get. But we used to enjoy being, in other words, that friendship was established then. I used to enjoy being with him. We'll be out 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning on campus.
Talking.
Just
Talking.
We had so much in common.
We did.
And things of that nature.
And people, see, when people say, oh, y'all were out at 2 in the morning, they think other things are going on, but
They're
no,
talking.
we literally have talked. We've had an argument for hours, a disagreement, it was an
It
argument.
wasn't this, you just was trying to be hard. But okay.
But we can say we were indeed friends first. I mean, we
Well, we'd go to class,
We
do lunch, do dinner.
did, yeah.
She'd drop me off at work if she needed the car. And when my friends say,
Yeah, when I was driving
when
his
she was
car.
driving the car, oh no, that's getting serious.
Yes, I was driving his car, and we were we were friends. We were still in the friend zone
Right,
when I was driving his car.
Right.
And his friend was like, "You driving Michael's car?" It's like, "Yeah, what's the big deal? I'm driving Michael's car. I don't have something's wrong with my car, so I'll drive Michael's car."
But we
So,
had a lot of
yes.
fun.
Yes, we had a lot in common, a lot of things in common.
Rico?
Friendship is very, very important. It truly is. I kind of want to piggyback a little bit off of our topic from 2 weeks ago. Is that how we were kind of going back and forth with like love at first sight and all this kind of stuff. And like hearing you guys talk about it, I was opposed to the love at first sight and stuff like that. And I hear this from you all, friendship comes first. You have to know a person and learn a person before you just become, I guess, 100% committed, right? But I truly believe that, friendship is something that you have to have in a relationship. You're gonna have ups and downs, right? Even with a friend that's not your wife, right? Me and O may have arguments, right? Or something like that. We may disagree about stuff, but that friendship, if it's strong enough, it will keep you all together. You know that the main thing is that you want to know that your friend is never against you. I guess that's the biggest thing I've learned in this relationship is that if Stacy's doing something, it's really for the both of us. We're friends, right? She's not trying to be against me in any kind of way, right? But you're gonna have some battle sometime, but you're one once you're together.
So from here you're right, the criticism,
Yeah.
the constructive criticism, I can identify.
Right.
But you know they got your best interest
Yeah.
in heart.
Yeah.
I think friendship is important because I feel as if when you're in a friendship with someone, that's when you really get to see somebody's heart. Like there's no agenda, right? I just
Exactly.
enjoy spending time with you. If you're hurt, I want to comfort you, or I'm here to listen to you. I think that's what you get to explore in a friendship versus starting a relationship when you're always on your best behavior and you might hide what you feel are flaws or what you've been told are flaws, right? But in friendship, it's just you're genuine. You just want to be happy in life. You want the best for the people you choose to be around you. And that's the foundation, I feel, of a romantic relationship, because romance ebbs and flows. Love ebbs and flows. The feeling of love ebbs and flows, not the action of love.
That's
But I feel like the friendship foundation is what partnership, lifetime partnership is about.
And I think that you made an excellent point. When you build a friendship in a marriage, when you have a friendship that basis, as other things ebb and flow, you can always rely on your friendship. Because your friendship is solid. Your friendship is solid, and that helps your relationship to be much more solid. Because your friendship aids in your relationship if you need to talk about a subject that's not fun, or you can listen to, your friendship helps you to be able to accept criticism. Your friendship helps you because you know that this person has your best interest at heart. It's not always roses, it's just not. And your friendship, your friend, I know a quick story, y'all.
Go ahead, go ahead.
And I tell this story a lot.
Mhm.
When we moved in our second house, not far from here, I wanted to get the floors changed in the foyer. My husband said, just wait. He said, just wait now. No. My job gave me a bonus, y'all. I just couldn't wait to get the floors done and get some stuff in the bathroom, because I had a bonus. It must have been a few years later, I was looking at that floor and that stuff, and I was just like, really, it did nothing for me. And I had to check myself and apologize to this man, because I operated out of what I wanted and not out of what my husband, my friend was just, he didn't say you couldn't do it. He said, just wait, just wait a minute.
Patience.
And had I waited, I would have gotten something that I liked a whole lot more had I just trusted what he was saying, because as my friend and my husband, he had never ever led me wrong. Ever, never. Told me anything that was going to be harmful to me. And I think that once you learn to trust your friendship, once you learn to trust a friendship, it builds on a relationship. It can't do anything but help a relationship.
So just listen to you guys talk. I love doing topics like that because it teaches me a lot. Just to basically exactly what to look for. I'm gonna go to you guys Henrietta. So basically, you said that Mike really wasn't that tight for you at first, but he kind of grew on you. But you did establish the fact that besides him just being your man, he was that friend. So my question to you, and basically I just want the ladies to answer this. So when it comes to you as a woman knowing that you have these flaws, okay, you look for this man to accept these flaws. However, I tell people all the time, if you want me to accept your flaws, you have to accept mine. So can you guys give me a little insight on, was it something that, being with your husband, at first you were like, I don't know about this one here. But like I tell people all the time, you have to adjust. So tell us a little bit about that, how you had to adjust, because Mike was like, hey, I'm persistent, you ain't going nowhere, like, we about to do this. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, Richard, like you said, he grew on you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So just give me you guys give me a little insight on a time like that.
That's kind of a funny topic with us. And that's because
But be honest with me.
I
know what you're talking
I will. And what it is, and I'm gonna say, it was a physical thing. Okay, because I did not prefer fair skin men. I prefer a chocolate.
Okay.
Okay.
So Mike, she's a caramel. That was her thing, Mike. That was her thing, caramel.
And I could say taller.
Mm-hmm.
Even though actually people think I'm taller than me and Michael. Actually, Michael's an inch taller than me. I'm only 5'7". He's actually 5'8". Because women wear heels all the time. That's what people think. And I could say, even like when he met it's so funny. The first time that I actually took Michael to meet my family as a whole, I gotta give you the pep talk in the car. Because my family are very vocal and debative people. And my father's family is mostly men,
Mhm.
and all of them are over 6 feet.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so
That's what she was looking for.
okay, so and my father is chocolate. Okay,
Okay.
let me say, and all my uncles too.
Okay.
Let's get there. So of course that's and I have I'm gonna say I have an excellent father. Period.
Mhm.
Okay, so of course that makes it. That's what a woman looks for. If she has a good father, she's going to gravitate to that. But Michael's physical appearance. Once I actually got to know, and that's a friendship thing. Once I got to know his personality, his heart, his way of thinking, his way of operating, that's what attracted me. That's what got me. And I can say it still has me, obviously.
Okay.
So, like you say, getting past that physical thing, knowing who the person is, and I guess I can't say flaws because you can't say a person's appearance of flaws.
Mhm.
It was just not the one that I preferred.
Okay.
But the personality is Michael's personality is mostly like my family's personality, except people think so funny when I met his family for the first time. And I'm the type of person, I'm very talkative. Once you get to know me, I'm very talkative. And they was like, Michael don't do any talking. You're so right for him, because they like we was just talking. I was talking to them for hours. It was like I just flowed. They was like, you kind of, everybody that meets me don't realize that they'll be like, oh, you're just part of their family. Yeah, so.
That's funny.
I was a kid.
Mhm.
I was 15.
Right.
So, and Terry was 18.
Okay.
And so I thought that he was a huge thing. Yeah, he was thick, he was big, and he was muscular. I thought that he was all that. So, and I still do.
Mhm.
I still do. And I just, he had me. He had dimples. He had a beard, so that made him look a little bit more mature. I just thought that he was so cute. You're welcome. Thought he was a cute guy. Yeah. So no flaws. But you know,
Because you couldn't see it.
I
Because you
couldn't.
couldn't.
I really was like off the rip. I was like, I almost smitten. I was smitten, y'all.
As you should be.
I was smitten head over heels. I sure was. Yep. So it took a while before my thumb came.
I probably will agree with you. I think that flaws. So I had a practice marriage before I met Rico, and I was. I'm sorry.
That's a good way to put it.
Yes, taught me a lot. So, which is probably another reason why I didn't see him at the 4th of July party. I'm just gonna tell you, it was my fault that I didn't see him. It wasn't his. No. But I feel like I didn't notice flaws. Like, he was kind of a savior to me for a lot of things. When he saw whatever I was going through, any obstacles, he made sure that he would assist in smoothing those obstacles out. Or he is an only child. He and I are both only children of our moms, and so he was just as close to his mom as I was close to my mom. The friends who are now married, who set us up, they knew his features or traits that aligned with mine. We like to DIY. We like to do construction and work on our home. Home Depot and Lowe's were our favorite stores. We were close to our family, and especially our moms. And so, there weren't, I can't pinpoint, to be honest, anything that I feel like I had to overcome or an obstacle. Any obstacles I felt with me and, being self-reflective after my practice marriage, I really felt like I tried to work on things that I did to contribute towards the demise, whether being young, naive, fairy tale, whatever. I tried to really heal that part of my heart before I let somebody else in. So I was kind of open with my flaws, or whatever you keep towards the end to make sure this is the one kind of thing. But I knew that when I felt like he was about to propose, we had to have conversations. Okay, I gotta tell you this. I'm so sorry. Because I felt he deserved to know before asking.
That's right.
So that's how I kind of try to overcome obstacles or flaws.
So let's move to marriage. Okay, so marriage, I feel like with marriage, like I said, I was married once. So, it's been like, I think it lasted like a year. Kind of young, I thought it was what I wanted. Basically just did it all for the wrong reasons. Just doing it to try to make people happy. But at the same time, happiness within yourself is important first. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like I said, basically when people decide to get married, I feel like you really have to, it's gonna take work. Like I tell people all the time, marriage is a thing that you have to work on a not just daily basis, on a minute basis, on a second basis, on an hour basis. Like I said, and that's why I feel like friendship is most important in it, because like if there's nobody else that you want to make that journey with, it should be your friend. You see what I'm saying? So you guys tell us a little bit about like things that you guys do on a daily basis to try to keep the marriage going, like date nights, and then you also share a little bit, about like there's been times where you guys really felt like, I don't know, like kind of second guessing things, but putting that thing together, like that bond, that friendship, knowing that the easy thing about it is just giving up. But we made these vows, and I think one of the things today that kind of like scares people. Everybody is quick to do these vows, but how many people really stick by them? You know what I'm saying? So 25 years, 34 years, 11 years. You know what I'm saying? That's a milestone. So give us a little insight, like I said, on some times where, like I said, it could have been like, I don't know, Mike, the persistent on wore off. And it's like I said, this friendship you guys do, like, Terry don't piss me off, so I'm just kind of mad, like, I don't know if I want to deal with Terry today. You know what I'm saying? Or, even with you guys, you know what I'm saying, Rico used to think I was cute, but now I got my hair somewhere, like, he would come to me like he used to. So things like that happen, you know what I'm saying? And those, to be honest with you, those are some of the reasons why a lot of people just give up and just quit.
Well, if I may, I think, there's a misconception, right? There's a song by Teddy Pendergrass called When Somebody Loves You Back. You know that song? Bridge Party said, not 70-30, not 60-40, talking about 50-50 love.
Right.
That's not accurate, right? Because you have to give 100% of yourself, and she has to give 100% of herself. Now, and sometimes her 100% may be 6% of the marriage, of the relationship, and your 100% may only be 40%, because you're doing the best you can. And like, okay, when the pandemic first happened, I had a respiratory infection. I did not have COVID.
Okay.
I had a respiratory infection, but I was down like 2 weeks, and I could not get out of bed. So everything that needed to happen in the house, she was cooking meals, and she was bringing me like spoonful of food, little small portions of food, because I could just make it from the bed to the bathroom and back in the bed. That was all I could contribute, right? I couldn't give, there was no way I could give 50%, if you will. So checking the mailbox, taking out, going shopping for groceries, or whatever needed to be done in the house, it really was on her. So that's what you have to have. You have to have a person that whatever it takes, we're gonna get this done. If Stacey and Rico were moving this table, and let's say this table weighed 50 pounds, Rico may be holding up 35 pounds of this, and Stacey may be carrying just 15 pounds of it. The idea is to get it moved, and it really doesn't matter who's carrying the weight. But the object is to move the marriage forward. And sometimes you may not be the person carrying all the weight, and most of the time the weight is not going to be evenly distributed. It's just how it is. she's having a rough time at work, if she's not feeling her best, if some other things are going on, then it's up to you to keep it moving. He cooked breakfast because she wasn't doing well. He didn't wait for her to cook breakfast. Right? He just picked up because in order for our family to eat this morning, I need to do this. And you know, hey, look what I did. You do it because you're moving the marriage forward.
Team.
And I like the,
Team effort.
I like the way you set that up. You mentioned covenant,
And it's vows,
vows,
but it's a covenant.
but here's where I'm going. 11 years, and congratulations.
Absolutely.
A lot, but marriage goes through seasons. And I'm sure you have had some in 11 years. But there's moments where you ask, who is this person next to
That's
you? Next to
the
me?
absolute truth.
And that's where the friendship step in.
That's right.
There are also a moment where faith step in. Once you gave me these topics, I said, oh man, that's gonna be good. I didn't put no thought or whatever into it, but I was looking forward to it. It is my faith, it is my covenant that when our marriage hit a real rough spot, and I know that my wife was committed still, I know that I was committed, but the devil would put stuff in your head, and if you're not careful and if you're not prayerful, that's where the faith comes in. He'll cause you to stumble. He'll put what you call in your past. I use the analogy that the grass may appear to be green on the other side. You better see it for what it is, and be able to separate yourself from it, and be able to. That's where communication comes in, where you can communicate with your spouse. Hey, here's what I'm dealing with. Here's what I'm struggling with, and to be able to have those difficult conversations, and then to be able to pray about it. One of the things that Satan have really used against family is not taking that time to communicate and taking that time to pray. And man, it's hard to pray when you're mad.
That's right.
But who's gonna be the one to submit? There's been a moment where it was me. There's been a moment where it was my wife. But regardless, I thank God that He gave me a wife that have a relationship with Him just like me. What I have learned, that many times as spouse, we'll go back and forth, we look for opportunity. That if my wife says something wrong to me, I'm looking for, I can't let her finish her thought because I want to get back to it. But I'm learning to, and I did say learn, I'm still in training. I'm learning to just listen. Don't say anything. And there are moments where I can relate to where she's coming from. And there's moments where we can't come to an agreement. What we do, pray about it. Or if the discussion gets too hard, it's best to just stop it and to deal with it later. But one other thing that's very powerful, that if my wife is mad or upset about something, and if I'm acting stubborn, hearing her pray, God have a way in dealing with it.
And then, you know, what we're gonna say is that we, like you said, vows, but I told covenant, and we've gotten help with our marriage. So people, if you know that you're going through storms, we have been through serious storms. I mean, it's okay to seek out help for your marriage, because we have to understand that we can't fix everything. And a lot of times, and because we are people of faith, we of course went to people of faith. You just don't go to anybody.
Absolutely.
Because if they don't have that faith relationship, they don't always have your best interests at heart.
You're right.
So what we seek first, we seek God first. We seek that what God has us to do, and we have to remember that these vows that we took is a covenant that we made, not just with ourselves, but with God.
And I don't want to hop on it, but I would like to say this. We often take our car and get it maintenance. We often take care of our lawn, want it looking nice and stuff like that. We have to do that. We have to be that same way with our spouse.
With our marriage.
And with our marriage or what have you. Being intentional about sending the right emotions. being intentional
No.
about patting her on the butt when I'm walking in the kitchen, something like that.
Right.
That's a good
Even being intentional about doing things that that I know is, means a lot to her.
Absolutely.
Rico?
I agree with you.
I agree with the butt pat thing. But I do believe that, like we talked about the last couple of years, you really learn who my friend was, especially, with us, we work in the same, we live, we work in the same place, right? We actually, we had COVID, right? And so those, that was a time where, she and I, we're in the room, can't go nowhere, right? So we watching movies and things like that, but we're together. We're in this one little room, our kids' mother-in-law bringing us food, and I really see how a lot of people during these times, I guess, like once they found out they had to be together 24/7, right, in the house working and stuff like that, they realize that, hey, this person is not my friend, or or this person is my friend, right? So I do think the last 2 years for a lot of people, open their eyes to certain things, right? And my eyes are completely open to, like, this is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with 100%, right? No ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? And there's like I said, there's many times where we have disagreements and everything like that. We've learned to do better at trying to, solve those problems and kind of reconcile or whatever, right? But it is really important to have God first, for sure, and prayer and things like that. And I honestly, we always start down the prayer path a lot of times, and we kind of fall short and come back and stuff like that. It's consistency, right? And I think when we're doing that, we work together as a team a lot better, right? Yeah, so that's kind of how I see it. Okay.
I was so into everybody's answer, I don't remember what the question was.
No, we're just talking about just marriage and just giving people an insight, like I said, based on, just basically what keep you guys going, like I said, it's giving people the insight on.
Yeah, like how we start doing, like we do the date nights and,
Right.
and then even incorporating, the family, like the bowling stuff we do, because I mean, we're still, it's a family, even with the kids, bringing everybody in and stuff like that.
Right.
And then being on the same page about the kids and just the household in general, I guess.
Yeah, I think what has helped me is actually being okay with saying how I really feel, like being transparent and not feeling like I am letting someone down or hurting their feelings or just completely not being heard. That most of the responsibility for how I feel is on my shoulders, because I have to communicate those things that appear to be a problem, or praise those things that are, in my heart. Like, I can't talk so good about my husband to other people and never tell my husband how much I like him or have a crush on him or thank him. I think that when we hit a rough patch, for me, my number one goal was to thank him every day. And every day, it was something I found to thank him about, right? And so at this point, it's gone from, I hope I still say thank you, by the way, but it's gone from focusing on having to say thankful to, oh God, I'm so grateful. God, I'm so grateful. Thank you, God. Like, that's how it's transitioned for me. But I don't think that could have happened if I were not open, honest, transparent, and worked at it every day.
And intentional, like you said. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
So ladies, like, this for my guys. So we as men, like you said, Mike, I heard you say this, we can be stubborn. We can really be stubborn, and a lot of men, we don't even, like I said, like me and my boy, like me and Rico and the guys on, one of the main things we talk about is basically being able to express how you feel, without making it feel like you being weak at that moment. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I struggle with, that I'm getting help with on a weekly basis by, going to a therapist and just being like you said, Stacey, and I, like when you just say that, it kind of make me that kind of test the soft spot, because like sometimes when you in relationships, you deal with people where you're not even able to express who you are. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like that friendship is important. You know what I'm saying? And we as men, we have to get to a point where just because we confide in our wives or confide in our girlfriend or whoever we deal with, you know what I'm saying? It has to be a point to the fact where we're able to open up, because that don't mean that we're weak. That just means that we're hurting. So I need my guys to speak on a time that, you know, you felt like, you know, like the weight was on your shoulders, but then you know that you had this wife at home that you can actually sit down with and just like, look, baby, this is not testing you, you know, saying this way, listen, you know, just like it's hard today, and it might have been, she might have said, you know what, baby, it's hard, but we gonna get through this. And that lifts some of that load. So you guys give me a scenario, or just speak on that.
Okay.
Just show how
I
important
know
it
I'm
is.
not a guy, but I want to speak on that because
I want to
I'm
speak on that too.
I just have to say that.
I am a guy, and I would like to.
Okay, let my guy speak first, and I'll let y'all
Henrietta played a valid role in that with me. Our past experience, things that some of my parents went through. She played she helped me with that, being able to communicate with her, let her know what was going on. I was fortunate that I have an uncle who also guided me down that road about that communication with my wife and things like that. But Henrietta really helped me in doing that. It definitely, I want to say, it enhanced our marriage greatly. I can even say, by doing that, it revolutionized our marriage, because keeping on feeling to yourself, not being able to fully share, there's a lot of inner struggle that you deal with, and they would take that and use it and cause a lot of chaos, unnecessary chaos.
Well, I'm probably an outlier, because you know how they say men have like 10,000 words a day.
Not my sweet.
Now, I am one who, see, I could argue with you for those hours that you were talking about. If you say y'all argue for hours, I could do that. I'm good for that. And so words matter to me. I mean, words, inflection, how it's presented, all of that matters to me. And I hang on and I listen to what you say, and I'll let you know how I feel about whatever it is I'm dealing with. So now I've never been one really to stuff my feelings or
We're
thoughts or
probably
emotions.
flip-flop.
Yeah,
We're
we probably
probably
flip-flop
flip-flop.
in that regard. Now, I don't have road rage, if you will, but if somebody was doing, driving crazy, I'm gonna say how I feel. Right? But once I say it, I'm fine. But I'm not even gonna stuff that. Like, get out the street, watch out, move. So I'm not a person who really stuffs. You're gonna really know how I feel about what it is that's going on. Yeah.
Which is good, and I've had to learn how, and it's still a process for me, even after all of this time, where he's very, very clear, very expressive. There's no hidden agenda in anything that he's speaking or feeling. Terry does not have a problem saying it, bringing it to my attention, or to whoever the attention it is. For me, on the other hand, sometimes that's an issue, because I'm very quick to stuff how I feel until I'm stuffed, and then it's a big deal. Or if something happens, and I've had to learn how not to bring up, if I said, don't move my green cup, and you move my green cup, then I'm mad because you moved the green cup, and the water bottle, the table over there, all this long list of things, and that's not healthy. That is a flaw for me. So we're almost the exact opposite, where I have to truly be intentional about sharing what I feel and being okay with not being angry, not being so concerned with, I may step on somebody's toes. I may, it may cause a commotion. It may cause a disagreement. It's okay to share how you feel, because how you feel is how you feel. That's not right or wrong, it's how you feel. So we are almost opposite in that arena.
And if I may say this real quick, you heard the adage, the straw that broke the camel's back? It's not that straw that broke the camel's back, it's all the other straws that were already on the back. So if you keep the straws off the camel's back, it'll never break. But a lot of times people leave straws on there, and the straws keep piling up. And so I just try to keep the straws off my camel's back.
Don't get to that. Cause I hold stuff in and just it,
And
you
then
know,
it explodes.
yeah, and then when I finally blow up, it can be something so small and simple, but I blow up over everything. Yeah,
Everything.
yeah. So you know,
And
but,
you know,
but I'm working on that.
Well,
That's
Michael,
not healthy.
that's right. But Michael, what Michael was talking about was that, you know, and I can say it's our spiritual connection. Because but if Michael is not feeling right about something, I already know it. I know I won't know exactly, but I'm so close.
Something's not right.
I was like, okay, so then I'm like, you need to talk to me about
She's
it.
persistent.
I am persistent then. Cause then I wanna know, because I know it's not something that's right. All right, and like, he'll, and we can say like, and then we just, he'll come and he'll lay his head on me, he'll just lay on me. I was like, I already know something's not right about you, but once I say it, that's how he is. He's like, you know, you just gotta I have to give him that time to express his feelings. But it was that I have to initiate. If I never initiate, it will never happen. It will never be said. Then he's like you. He's just building. And I was like, no. And I learned years ago, since we've been 25 in this, and it's that I know what, you know, that he needs to talk. I know he needs to say something. So I don't even wait for it. I'll be like, okay, you need to go ahead and tell me what's going on.
So we play the same role, you and I play the same role in our marriage.
Just opposite.
Yeah, because I'm the one saying, what's going on?
Right, right.
You can read, you know,
The
the body,
energy.
yeah, the energy, the
Mhm.
body language, and it may not even be something in the marriage, it may be something
Something,
outside,
yes,
but you
yes,
know
correct,
when
correct.
they're not at their best.
Best,
Yeah.
that's right, correct.
So I think I like the analogy that you just had, but I think Stacey and I are like kind of like monarchs in our family. Like we take on a lot of responsibilities. She takes on a lot of responsibility for her family. I take on a lot of responsibility for my family, right? And I've done that for a long time. As far as, you know, something as simple as I work with computers. You know, I have anybody in my family calling me, "Can you fix my computer? Can you do this?" That kind of thing. So I feel like I take on a lot of responsibilities, and sometimes I hold it in. It's like sometimes I may not want to do it, but like I feel like it's my job and responsibility. Same thing with my family. Like I believe that if there's a problem, I'm gonna do whatever it is to fix it, right? And Stacey has actually been really, really big help in trying to take some of that burden off of me, right? Like something as simple as like I have a huge yard, a lot of leaves and all this kind of stuff. She took it upon herself to say, hey, you know, I'm gonna try to help Rico out by getting actual lawn service, right? To take this burden off of me, because it's taking me hours or whatever to do this type of thing, right? And same thing to reciprocate back on Stacey, like when she went through the natural hair process, right? She went the whole time, I'm cutting my hair off. She cut it all off, and she used to get frustrated because it's a lot of work to try to do your own hair and stuff like that. And I remember saying, hey, call somebody to get your hair done. Just go do it, right? I mean, it costs, but you know, it's worth it because it is for your mind's sake, right? And so I think both of us, with our roles in our family, we kind of work together to figure out ways to take the load off of each other, right, from time to time, right? Because it's something that's needed.
Can I share something with Rico? No is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. Sometimes
He's going somewhere with that.
you have to just tell people no. It's a complete sentence. Because families will, man, they'll pull you and pull you. Yeah. Yeah. No is a
Yes, you're
complete
correct.
sentence.
I have to tell my
Sometimes,
family that.
yeah, sometimes you have to say no, I'm not able to.
Yeah.
And be at peace with it.
It's okay.
I mean, but sometimes I just feel it's hard. Like, okay, example, I rent a house for my mom and my aunt, right? So they live in the house, and we're 15 miles away, maybe something like that. So they live over this area, and then Rico, light bulb went out. Light bulb.
Right, yeah.
Like that's a long drive for a light bulb. You can't change a light bulb, you know. But again, you know, my mom's getting older, my aunt's getting older, and stuff like that. And I know, and in some situations, I just have accepted the role and say, hey, this is what's gonna have to be, right? So yes, I agree with no to the most part for certain things, right? But again, I wanted to thank Stacy for helping with alleviate some of those pressures when the pressure just builds up, right? And before I explode, it's like, okay, she's done something to alleviate that, and I want to make sure that I can do the same for her in those situations, right?
Yeah, and it is a tug when your parents are older and you feel the obligation is to try to make sure that they're good. Yeah, I understand that.
Stacy, you want to speak? I mean, the ladies are
They hijacked your face, so go ahead.
You chime in on it. You chime in.
Okay, I forget. Okay, so again,
I mean, just basically, you know, like the way, different, like you said, he gave you credit for like different way, but like I said, we as men could be stubborn, so like I said,
communication.
yeah,
Okay.
the communication part.
So for me, I will say that I would like to be free to say things. I think that I have started becoming okayer saying things because I feel like sometimes, okay, so if I say something to Rico is a fixer. He is the hero and he wants to have the answer and solve the problem. If I say things, I remember how you said you had to learn the, excuse me, am I supposed to listen right now or are we supposed to brainstorm and come up with a solution and things like that? Rico, it always goes to, I'm about to fix this. So simple as yesterday, my phone was doing something so crazy, my cell phone. It was just speaking on its own. Yesterday, we were at the baseball diamond and it was just speaking. I'm very, very frustrated. But Rico, what he'll do is he'll just take it. He'll just take it, and so I can't troubleshoot anymore. Did I tell y'all I work in software? That I test software? Okay. So I feel like I can get this. Let me just at least give me a little bit of time to try to figure it out, right? Because I'm the problem solver for my family too. So, but I'm like, no, I got it. Let me just give me a moment. And I can even look it up or do it, right? So he's automatically the fixer. And I think it's just because he don't really want to hear it. Like he doesn't really want to hear it. I can just do it faster than you can look it up. Just let me do it, right? So that's who he is anyway. But I do orchestrate the right moment. I will say that I have to orchestrate the right moment to bring up concerns. And sometimes I'm okay with that, and sometimes I read the room and I'm just not okay with that. We just might have to table that for right now.
And that's fine.
And it's okay, right? It's okay. I mean, I know when something else is more precedent, something else is more important right now, I've got to just sit back, and my time's gonna come. Yes. Yeah.
So now let's get into faith because that's what all brings the gel that brings it all together. Like I said, I feel like when it comes to faith, that you know you have the physical, you have the mental, you have the emotional, but to me the most important is to make sure that you have the spiritual. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, tell our audience a little bit how, you know, just having that faith and knowing that this person beside you not only saying praise for you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Praise for me. I can give you a little story. One time I remember we when I was singing in the choir, we took a bus trip to I forgot what name of the city, but Pastor had to preach. And so on the way back, I rode the bus with all the mothers of the church. And when I tell you the marriage ranged from 20 on up, like 60, and I'm like sitting on the seat with each one of them asking like, what do you do? Like, how you get to this point? And each seat that I sat on, it was basically the same answer. But the first thing you gotta do pray together. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pray together. If you can't pray together, it ain't gonna work. I'm like, okay, well, you know, they've been together for 40 years. They gotta be different and pray together. You Move to the next seat. But baby, we've been together, but the main thing you gotta do is you gotta pray. That's what I just heard in the last seat. Okay, but this seat will be different. But each seat I went to was the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is, even not necessarily just praying together. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, we as men, I keep saying this because I feel like it's a man thing. But we as men, we really don't want to admit what we don't know how to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if, like, it's instilled when you little growing up, I'm saying, this is a manly thing, this is what you gotta do, you gotta be able to do this. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like, I'm saying, if you got a praying woman, okay, even if you don't know how to pray like she prayed, it's not a bad thing to ask her to help you to do that. You see what I'm saying? But, and if you got a woman that don't know how to pray, go by the hand and y'all pray together, even if you have to lead in prayer every day. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like prayer together, you know what I'm saying, is very important. So you guys, like I said, 25, 34, 11, that's a long time. You know what I'm saying? But you definitely didn't get to that point without prayer.
Oh,
I know that for a fact.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? So just shed a little light, you know what I'm saying, on how important praying together and praying for each other really is.
I can say for us personally, I'm telling you, we are just so blessed. Is that me and Michael grew up in the church. We come from families that pray. I mean, prayer warriors. My grandfather was a prayer warrior. My grandmother was a prayer warrior. My parents prayed, and Michael's mother, the first time I went to church, and I'm telling you, this is definitely God orchestrated. The first time I went to church with Michael and his family, the person that was asked to pray was Michael's mother. And when I say that woman prayed the roof off that church, I was like, okay, yes, this is the man I gotta be with right here. Which I was already hooked by anyway. But it's that we grew up in the church. Even when we started hanging out and being friends, but one of the things was we were saying, like, we want a person that's in the church that understands that they put God first. Even in our backsliding and we was hanging out with friends and whatever, but we always knew that God was first, that you have to have God, you have to have prayer. Like even when we were getting married, like some of our friends was like, cause we was actually, Michael moved here to Atlanta before I did, and they was like, oh well, you guys need to go ahead and get married if you're gonna move there. And I was like, no, I'm not going to the Justice of the Peace, because for me, that's not God-led. And if the man that's gonna marry me, it's gotta be a man of God, gotta be a faith man of God. So, we can say that faith, prayer, you have to have God. If God is not in your marriage, it will not work. It will never work.
I'll tell you, prayer, me and my wife started praying together before we would go to sleep. We would pray together in the morning, even with my son and daughter. We would pray before they go to school, things of that nature. We was intentional about it. Our marriage needed it, but we also wanted we were sure Michaela and Joshua some key ingredients that they're gonna need to make it through life. Even Michaela's friends would call and pray. We would call Michaela her friends, is our friends with, Michaela don't put them on speakerphone. And it was funny because they thought that was so nice. It even had an impact on them. Long story short, Michaela to this day, when she's nervous about something, when she's relationship, she won't talk to me about that, but she'll call mom. But when she's a little nervous about school or whatever, things of that nature, she'll call me and say, well, Dad, I need you to pray. So not only that, but I'm beginning to teach her, God, hear your prayers too.
Right.
What it's also is showing her is what it's gonna need it in their relationship. But if you're facing a difficult moment or struggling in your marriage, and Satan doesn't give up, he just comes in different ways.
That's right.
If you can humble yourself and just pray, you'll be surprised of the victory that you would experience right away.
Right away.
Won't even take long. God honor prayer, and Satan have used it as a weapon that he'll keep us in argument, he'll keep us upset, he'll use every trick in the Bible, And that's what I love about being equally yoked, because sometimes I'm too stubborn to pray. My wife would, I push her hand off me. She'll reach over there and start praying. Sometimes she'll lay down, she'll kneel down beside that bed and begin to pray. And as men, nothing is more convicting. And I don't know why I'm giving y'all this powerful truth. Is when that woman kneel down on the side of the bed and pray.
And with her hands over you.
Trust me.
Or in the middle of what?
But there's a moment where my wife ain't that sweet,
That's right.
where I would do the same.
Amen.
And I thank God for that.
Amen.
I think that prayer in a marriage is of the utmost importance because it takes you out of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you are sincere in prayer, you can't keep the focus on you. So whether you're upset or out of sorts or whatever the issue is, and it might even be an issue, because consistent prayer covers. But when you're in a prayerful state, it takes the focus off of you. The power's not in your hands because we don't have the power to keep it together. Because left up to our own devices, we won't stay together. Because when I get mad at you, I'm done with you. But the prayer takes you out of it. It takes the focus off of you. And when you're praying together, you're praying over your family, over your house. It really puts the trust and the onus back on God. You give God back His word, and that covers. When our kids went off to school, we couldn't do nothing. They were away. Prayer kept them. Prayer keeps us in a state where we're in a good place with each other. Without that, you're not. Without that, you're just not, because it's too easy to get caught up on all the little things that distracts us and that irritate us and that annoy us, and that puts you in a space where you're focused on the person. You're focused on the whatever the issue is. But prayer takes the focus off of that. Because if you're talking to God, you can't be talking to God and you're mad. I'm talking to God saying, well, Terry didn't do this and he said that and this happened and da. No. Because what that does is that point all the other fingers back at you. You talking about what Terry didn't do. Here's your list, you know. So prayer, I think, takes that, it refocuses where you are. It puts the focus on what the focus needs to be on.
And you said a key word. You be praying, but Lord, you need to do this and this and this and this. And God begin to show you now, it's you and you.
Yeah.
So you can't stay upset.
That's right, you can't, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's absolutely, and especially as men, we are the priest of our homes. And the word husband means house band. So you're the one who covers or binds or keeps your house together. So it's imperative, it's important that you as the husband pray over your family, over your wife, over your children, over your marriage. And you know, I pray for covering for my family every day, for my wife and my children. And I pray God's purpose for them, what He would have for them to reach their purpose, the purpose that He has for them.
Amen.
Because that may not be what I see, but you pray God's purpose for your family, for your children, and for your marriage. And pray God to be the person that your spouse needs. In the Bible, of course, it says that God made Adam a helpmeet, not a helpmate. And a helpmeet is that person that helps you meet the purpose that God has for you. So they're there to help you meet it. They're not your mate, they're your helpmeet. If you say in the Bible, we always say helpmate, exactly helpmeet. So your spouse is there to help you meet God's purpose for you, for them.
I think it also keeps you focused, you know. A lot of times in relationships, some problems occur when you're looking at other people's stuff, when you're looking at what they doing or what they doing, what they got. No, when you say prayerful, it keeps the focus on what the focus needs to be on in our relationship, in our house. Because what makes my house go might not make your house go. It might not work for them in their house. What they're doing might not work for me. And I think when you stay prayerful, it keeps the focus on where the focus needs to be in your house. I mean, your whole, when I say your house, I mean everything that comes under this union. It keeps the focus on where that focus needs to be. So if we need to focus on communication, if we need to focus on being intentional, if we need to focus on whatever in ministry that we need to be doing, prayer uncovers that stuff for us so that we can move towards the purpose that God would have for us to accomplish, not what somebody else is doing, what they got going on, because that's not the purpose for us. Our very busy, simple life might not work for other people. It might not work for other people. It works for us.
And how many times do we pray and ask God, Lord, help me to meet my spouse's needs? Spiritually,
That's right.
financially,
Yeah.
emotionally.
Right.
And Lord, help me to, even the things that I know, the ugly stuff.
That's right.
I need you to help me to purge that.
Yeah.
That the enemy, that Satan won't use it to his advantage. And I'm sorry, but I'm not there.
Yeah, so I can honestly say I probably needed to hear this from you all. We pray, but we don't pray how we should, right? I don't count, we pray with our son every single night. He won't go to sleep without prayer, right? But Stacey and I together, we kind of fall short. And so thank you for letting us hear this, right? Because I think it's something that we need to really strive to get back to, right? I can honestly say also that there was a time when Stacey and I, she came to me about going to like a marriage retreat, right? And I was like, no, I don't want to do that, right? And so, and when she went ahead and booked it, we went anyway, and those are some of the best times I ever had, right? You know, and no TV, it's just her, we would come together as groups, but for most of the time you would spend it with your spouse, right? And some of the best exercises that we did was just her and I sitting in front of each other. You're in a room full of people, right?
Right.
But then you face each other in the chair and you basically look at each other, hold each other's hands, and you speak admiration to the other person, right? And then that was one exercise. Then you may do the same thing and you pray for the other person, right? And you give and receive, and I still remember that wholeheartedly like it was just yesterday, right? And so COVID kind of stopped all that, and I would love to go back because that's sometimes just me and my wife together, right? So I know that prayer is important, and I really, really think that we should definitely figure out ways to incorporate that in everything that we do. Just like how you said just a second ago, right? Everything should be should.
Don't condemn yourself for what you haven't. That's a trick of the enemy to make you believe that what you're doing is not enough.
Yeah.
So whatever you do,
Just add to it. Just add to it.
One of the most powerful prayers in the Bible was Peter. He said, "Lord, save me." It's just 2 words, and his prayer was answered. Be as consistent as you're able to be, and just pray from your heart.
And I'm not here to make any excuses or anything like that. Like I actually I found the church not via my family, right? So I'm more close to my mother's side, not really on my father's side, and none of them church is not in their life at all. It's never been, right? Maybe when they were younger, but I was basically introduced to the church through friends I went to school with, and I was like, they were telling me how great it was and everything, and then I was like, okay, I want to be there. I want to see what's so great about it. And since then, it's always been, that's how I found the church, right? And I've been there via friends, right? So I'm hoping that our kids and stuff, they will follow, right? And we can teach them how things should be.
Rico, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised, and not to cut you off. As a man, we don't always have to be strong. Sometimes I can say, there's a moment where I say, Lord, have mercy. Lord, I need your help. You don't help me, I'm going to fail.
So he just goes to the Lord. It's about going to the Lord and not in
put
your
it on him.
right, not in your strength. Go to the Lord in your weakness.
Lord, I need your help.
And he will lead you.
And trust me, Lord, I need your help. I need your direction regarding my family.
I
regarding
don't
me.
have the answers. I don't know.
Put the
Both my
right
children
people
are
in my
adults.
life.
Yeah. You don't, and we too have been in the church literally our entire lives. Like first place from the hospital, church, and been there all the time since then. But there are days and times when we don't have an answer. Lord, you know what? Ryan and Amber belong to you. My marriage is yours. It's yours,
Mhm.
and it's in your hands.
He honors
And
it.
and he honors that, plain and simple. You know, 34 years is not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy.
But
But
11 wasn't either.
11 wasn't either, and neither was 25.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
And
that's
it
it.
wasn't.
Just keep waking up.
Yeah.
God, you know, the last company.
A thought just came to my mind. You was mentioning about you. If I heard you correctly, not in the exact words, about being married again. Mine was relationship. I only had 2 serious relationships, and Retta was the second one. It was funny that I was praying. I was a junior in college. It wasn't about playing the games no more, what have you. When I met Henrietta, then that's what caught her off guard. I wasn't playing games. But I was asking God, Lord, send me the lady in my life that's going to be with me the rest of my life. It was packaged totally different. She shared her story. I was looking for someone thin,
His
short, but the package that he packaged it in, I was like, and the moment I saw her, I told her walking across campus in those shorts. I knew she was the one. But my point was, as you praying and asking God, because I believe you are, don't put restriction on God. You'll be surprised. Be open, because He may package it totally different from what you've been praying for. But I know she's a God sent.
You know, God, I've heard the term, you make plans and God laughs.
Yeah.
I
Man
kind of
praying,
feel
God
like
laughs.
that's been our story. But I do agree that I think, you know, that's one of the things if you could say, what would you like to do to enhance your marriage? That would probably be on my top. I talk to God. I don't have a formal devotion time. I would love to work on meditation, devotion. I told you I'm always talking about how grateful I am and thank you, God, and for specifics, right? And then for non-specifics, because I don't know the right outcome. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I just need to be patient and be still. And I know those times, right? But I would love to grow in that area.
Well, may I say just one thing, this for all of us. Whenever we're praying, we have to be mindful that you're praying to an audience of 4, not 3. You know, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and the enemy is listening too. And his job is to make a liar out of you before the other 3. So even maybe simple things, you know, when you say, you know, I'm not eating sweets today. You know, I'm gonna fast today, whatever it might be, right? You go to work and they got donuts.
Yeah.
Because the enemy heard you say,
I'm not even sweet.
I'm not eating sweets today. And he gonna put that in front of you. And when you eat that donut, he gonna say to the other 3, to the Trinity, see, that joker there,
Right.
he ain't serious, you know. Or you say, Lord, help me, I want to fast. Lord, help me, I don't want to eat sweets before noon. And the donuts come, you eat, and he wants to make a light out of you in front of the Lord.
And you know, one thing I can say, because we know that we are all created